So hello everyone, my name is Kim Twitchell and I'm the Regional President of NBT Bank. For those of you that don't know NBT Bank, we are headquartered out of upstate New York with offices in 7 states including Maine. We established our regional office here in Portland about 5 years ago, and we have grown our team and currently employ 45 Mainers across our commercial, personal, and retirement planning divisions. We just moved our location to 5 Widgery Wharf, so we're right off a commercial street here in Portland, and our team is comprised of all Maine bankers. But tonight, I am honored to introduce Chris Lynch, President of Legacy Properties, Sotheby's International Realty. Thank you, Chris. Originally from Andover, Mass, and a graduate of Bates College, Chris spent his first half of his working life on Wall Street. At 31 years old, Chris became one of the youngest managing directors in his field. Chris ultimately managed a 400-person team on 3 continents with revenues exceeding $500 million. Moving to Maine at 40 years old with his young family, he tapped into his Wall Street brokerage experience to found Legacy Properties Sotheby's International Realty, which is now Maine's largest luxury property company. Chris, best of luck to you. The stage is all yours.
Super hard to say Legacy Properties, Sotheby's International Realty, so that was very, very well done. So I guess what my talk's a little bit about probably a combination of scared straight and rocky, right? So I'm going to start with the rocky part. So I'll start at the end and then work my way forward. So this is about starting a business in an industry where you have no experience, in an industry where you've never done anything that has anything to do with what I decided to do when I was 42 years old. And I was out in the field. It was, the real estate market in the early 2000s was going up here in Maine. We just moved here. I thought it'd be fun to buy and sell some properties. You buy them one day, the next day they're worth more and you sell them. And that's what we used to do in the bond business, right? We'd buy low, sell high. And that was great. And I was out in the field one day with an agent who told me that his company was giving up the Sotheby's International Realty affiliation of the real estate business. And I looked, so it's kind of a global lifestyle brand. And I looked at the coast of Maine and I said, it's a global. It made incredible sense that putting these 2 brands together could be really, really special, right? Everybody talks about a vision, everybody talks about voices, all this stuff. So, but it kept me awake. I'd be waking up in the middle of the night and say, if I can get that Sotheby's brand and I can get a team of people who look at the coast of Maine, Maine coastal communities as kind of one asset class, I can't figure out how that can't be a home run. So let me jump to the rocky part and then I'll go back because I can tell you how it can't be done. So, where we are now, right? So now we're Legacy Properties, Sotheby's International Realty. We have 5 offices in Maine. When we're all together, we're almost 100 people, and we're the 4th largest real estate company in Maine now by sales, which is pretty incredible. So we'll be 14 years old in January, and we sell more homes for more money than anyone in the state, which is pretty cool. And that's not by accident, that's by design. So anyway, it wasn't like you hear voices or you have a dream or whatever. It was like an apparition, right? Over my bed in the middle of the night telling me, you can do this. And it's not like the little engine that could. I think I can. It's like the Downeaster. You can do it. It's going to work. You can't fail. Almost to the point where I was delusional that I believed it, that maybe I could do something I didn't know and make it work. So I decided to call the people at Sotheby's. And I said, I want to start a Sotheby's International Realty company here in Maine. Can't do it. Well, why not? Don't have a real estate company. Well, that's okay, I can get one. You don't have a real estate license? Well, take the test, I'll get one of those. But you've never done any real estate transactions. I can figure that out. And so, and this is honest to goodness the truth. And they gave me about 25 reasons why. And a month later, I called them back. I said, I knocked off 5. I signed up to take the test. I'm going to pass that next week. Talked to some real estate agents. I might be able to do some recruiting. I think I can get that done. And this went on for the better part of 6 months, in 2005. And I got to the point where these last 10 or 15 things I just couldn't do because I'd never done them. And I gave up. And I really gave up. I took July and August off. I took 5 points off my golf handicap, which we're back on, and really just had a summer, which I'd never frankly had before. I just enjoyed myself for 2 months. And come September, I decided to get back at it. And I called them back and I said, we need to figure out a way to get this done. I said, it's really bothering me. I think there's something here. And all I gave them was a business plan. And it was a pretty good business plan, I thought. And the business plan was super simple. 2006, grow. Lose money, which is what you do when you start a business. And don't get into business if you don't have money to lose to begin with. And enough money. The other piece. So, business plan, 2006, grow, right? And then expand up and down the coast from Portland, primary office. 2007, lose money. Growth is expensive. Opening offices was expensive. And opened 4 offices. I did a couple of small acquisitions, and everything was kind of going along, and I was right on track, losing money both years. Budgeted, but not a lot. I mean, it was a lot of money, but it wasn't more than I budgeted. So then 2007, right, business plan says break even. Right now I have critical mass. We're where we need to be. We're not overstaffed. We're still pretty lean. The hourly wage was lower then, and so on. So 2007, lost a lot of money. So this isn't going well. I didn't know that there was going to be a global financial crisis, right? I had no idea. It wasn't part of the plan, right? So 2008, the bottom falls out, right? Out of the real estate market, 2009, much worse than that. 2010, just awful. I mean, it was so bad. So my business plan had us breaking even in 2007, making a little bit of money. It was a very reasonable, no grandiose things. And making a little bit of money in 2008. 2009 was going to be a good year, right? Good year. Got crushed, absolutely crushed. And we made the bond business look good, right? It was just awful. And then 2009 and 10, and buried. So, and my wife and daughter are here, and my son, who moved back to Maine to work for the company beginning of the year at 26 years old, so we're happy to have him back. But I come home, this is now, right? Institute for Family-Owned Business, he just joined, and yeah. So, which has been great. But I would come home, this is probably 2009, into 2010, and every day I'd be greeted at the door, happily, by my wife, saying, how'd it go today at the office? Same as yesterday. And that was a good day, right? When it wasn't the same as yesterday, it was really much worse than yesterday. It was never better than yesterday, right? It just kept getting increasingly worse. So something happened, and I will share with you back, in my Wall Street days, Wall Street's very, very cyclical, right? It's economically cyclical, has some seasonality to it, but really, in Wall Street, when the market goes down, companies fire everybody. When they go up, they hire everybody, and the markets go up and down, they're always hiring and firing. And what I realized and what I noticed was the companies that are the last to scale back, the last to stop spending, the last to stop investing, when the market does eventually turn, and it does eventually turn, they come out on top. And that was my commitment. I never cut back on staff. I didn't cut back on growth. I didn't cut back on commitment to the people who were committed to doing something. I mean, think about the first couple of people, one of whom is standing right where the owner didn't know anything about the business, right? Really hard. And so it was one that getting over that hurdle alone was almost insurmountable. And I was here, well, who's Chris Lynch? What does he know about real estate? I said, well, check back with me in a year. And a year later, it was worse. So that wasn't working for me. So, but then something happened, and all of that investment, right? All of that investment that took place during 9, 10, into 11, even 2008, where I didn't stop growing, I didn't stop spending, I never stopped believing. I never stopped to think, this isn't going to work. And maybe I'm crazy because it might not have worked. Another couple of years could have been really tough. But I just believed that this just can't fail. It never really occurred to me. What we were trying to do was we're trying to change the way real estate is bought and sold in Maine. Tall order for a new guy, right? But we introduced professional photography. We introduced, we can now bring you into our office, put your cell phone in virtual reality glasses, and you can walk through a house in Bar Harbor, right? And so what I saw the real estate market was doing and real estate companies were doing is they were cutting back on everything, right? Market's down, got to cut back, got to cut staff, have to No more advertising, no more coffee machines, free coffee, gone. No Christmas parties, nope, nothing. So we kept doing all of those. Coffee's still free, by the way, if you want to come by. And it's one that I stayed the course, and it was a very painful course to stay. I mean, a really, really painful course to stay. I didn't tell anybody because of my kids' college education fund that I was using to do this. And fortunately, in 2011, and it was July 4th weekend of 2011, everything we had done for the last 6 or 7 years just popped. It was like our signs came out of the ground. Everything we were trying to do right just worked. Every place I would go, starting July 15th, I see your signs everywhere. From a month ago, nothing. It was literally like the Wizard of Oz when it goes from black and white to color. It was like so dark and all of a sudden so bright, right? It was absolutely an incredible experience, but staying the course and being willing and frankly having the benefit of having seen that before is how just staying the course when times are tough and investing in what you believe in, and at the end of the day, you have to be right? I mean, that's a big part of it. If you're wrong, it's really bad. And so, that's the scared straight part of the talk, which is the end. So if you have a job already that you love and it's not your money, keep at it, right? I mean, you're in a good spot. You're happy, right? You're growing. If you're in a job you don't love, find another job you love, right? So, and really, but if you have that apparition kind of hanging over your head saying, I know I can, it won't fail, that's the one to listen to because you really don't have a choice at that point. You have to pursue that. That's what I did. So far, it's worked for me, but it's not over yet. We still got a lot of room to run. But thank you all.